At British Airways, we're on our most important journey yet to a more sustainable future, and we have a clear plan that we call Be a Better World to get us there. In 2010, we took part in an experiment called Perfect Flight to demonstrate opportunities to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions associated when flying aircraft. Aviation accounts for about 2% of global CO2 emissions, about 6% of the UK's, but we know urgent action is needed to decarbonise. By adopting a range of measures, the flight in 2010 saved more than 10% of the fuel and CO2 emissions normally consumed on the flight between Heathrow and Edinburgh. Now, 11 years on, we wanted to highlight how much progress has been made towards the concept of a perfect flight or zero emissions flight. A lot of the innovation takes place isn't visible, so we want to show what progress has been made and what's to come in the future. Today, we're going to operate our second perfect flight. We're flying from Heathrow to Glasgow in our newly delivered Be a Better World Airbus A320neo, and we're doing it in the most efficient way possible. In the last few days, I've been plotting out the most fuel-efficient routing for this flight. That means the most direct flight we can take. Our partners in air traffic control at NATS are going to allow us to vary our climb and descent speeds and fly at the perfect altitude and route to reduce fuel burn. Our climb speeds were programmed in advance by nav flight services. Our aircraft computer systems work out the optimum altitude and use accurate weight and wind data to ensure the most efficient journey possible. We've already offset the carbon emissions from flights we operate within the UK. This means we buy carbon credits from verified carbon offset projects around the world, protecting rainforests, helping the reforestation and creating renewable energy. But today we're also fueling the aircraft with sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF from BP. We're investing in SAF and there isn't much available, but it is crucial to our decarbonisation in the future as it can reduce life cycle emissions of flying by up to 80% compared with traditional fossil-based jet fuel.
It's great to see the leadership of such an industry player driving initiatives to basically bring SAF and deploy SAF broader in the industry. At BP, we want to help the industry to decarbonize, and we will continue to work with the industry stakeholders and governments to continue to develop viable options to deploy SAF more broadly.
The aircraft operating the flight today is an Airbus A320neo. These days, aircraft are much more fuel efficient than they were even 10 years ago. Typically, new aircraft today are up to 40% more fuel efficient than the aircraft they replace.
At Airbus, we're passionate about making the aerospace industry more sustainable and reducing its environmental footprint. You can see that in the A320neo, which burns significantly less fuel and emits much less CO2 compared to its predecessor aircraft.
When our aircraft are on stand, they can be plugged into renewable electricity to power lights and air conditioning. On short-haul flights from Heathrow, we're now pushing back our aircraft with battery-powered remote-controlled tugs called motor tugs. These replace diesel vehicles and are also charged using renewable energy at the airport.
At Heathrow, we're delighted to be supporting the Perfect Flight that shows that the solutions to take the carbon out of flying are available. We just need to scale them up now. At Heathrow, we're playing our part by buying 100% renewable electricity since 2017, investing £7 million in electric vehicle charging points at the airport, and shifting 90% now of our small vehicles to electric as well.
The more an aircraft weighs, the more fuel it burns. So British Airways is constantly trying to reduce the weight of items it has on board. Customers now sit on lighter seats, their food is served from lighter trolleys, and on the flight deck, pilots' heavy manuals are gone. Instead, the information has been uploaded to their tablets. Once pushed back, the aircraft uses just one of its two engines to power itself to the runway for takeoff, reducing emissions further.
Delivery, good morning. Shuttle 6 Lima A320neo on 501. We have Echo 1011 with CDC ready for Glasgow.
Shuttle 6 Lima, morning, hold position, contact ground 121.855. Good luck with your perfect flight.
The wheels are retracted as quickly as possible to reduce drag, and on takeoff, the shape of the wings are altered slightly, called takeoff flaps, to produce more lift but minimal drag for the most efficient takeoff. To save more fuel, the air traffic controllers at NATS direct the aircraft on its continuous ascent from Heathrow and descent into Glasgow, avoiding any level off. NATS provide the most direct routing and optimal flight level, and the aircraft is able to land without airborne holding.
So what's NATS' involvement in the perfect flight? Well, for NATS, it really is an end-to-end process. It really brings sustainable flying to life for government, for society at large. And from a NATS perspective, we learn so much about the elements of sustainability in flying that we can build into our airspace modernisation plans and to design it in for the future.
As it approaches its destination, air traffic controllers avoid putting the aircraft into a holding pattern above the airport. and the pilots delay lowering the landing gear and the landing lights in order to reduce drag and further reduce both noise and emissions.
The flight today demonstrates a huge amount of work that's been undertaken in a short space of time, working together within industry over innovation, looking at reducing the impact on climate. The newer fleets are cleaner, quieter, and also the development with sustainable aviation fuels shows the progress that's been made in this area.
10 years ago we saved 10% of fuel. Today with new technologies we've saved even more, and things are only going to get better in the years to come. It's clear that we and the entire aviation industry have moved significantly towards the perfect flight, and many of the initiatives we trialled 11 years ago are now standard practice at British Airways. But we need to continue to accelerate the development of new low-carbon technology to get us closer still to the perfect flight. We're investing in the development of sustainable aviation fuels and zero-emission hydrogen-powered aircraft, and are certain with the help of governments and industry, we can build a future for aviation that delivers the wonders of air travel while reducing the impact on the environment.